शुक्रिया इंदिरा जी और अमिताभ जी। मुझे अभी भी याद है जब पहली बार मैंने मोबाइल फ़ोन ख़रीदा था, एयरटेल का कनेक्शन। जैसे मुट्ठी में दुनिया आ गई हो, करीब से मटाए हों मेरे अपने। फिर पिछला साल तो जैसी मुश्किलों का पहाड़ लेकर आया और तब एहसास हुआ कि मोबाइल फ़ोन की क्या अहमियत है, कितना ज़रूरी है मोबाइल कनेक्शन होना। और इन मुश्किलों ने हमें कितना कुछ सिखा दिया। नए हालात को समझकर उनके साथ जीना, विपरीत परिस्थितियों को नियंत्रण में करना। Most importantly, this last year taught us the importance of building robust businesses that are strong and will stand the test of times, no matter how big the challenges. Joining us today to speak about this is someone who has built one of India's biggest telecom companies. A company that has weathered multiple storms and come out a winner each time. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an honor to welcome the founder and chairperson of Bharti Enterprises, Mr. Sunil Bharti Mittal.
I'm delighted to be addressing all of you on this Amazon Smbhav 2021. It's a platform where I know thousands of people join in to listen to some of the people who have gone through the journey of building businesses, especially in India. And I am therefore very glad to share some of my own experiences of having built one of the leading telecom companies in India and around the globe. Like most of you, I have started my life as a small entrepreneur way back in 1976. At that time, we were not called the SME. The title used to be small scale industry. And I am one of those examples which built a very large enterprise emanating from a tiny experiment that I started in 1976. Some of you may already know I started with manufacture of bicycle parts to supply to the bicycle companies in my hometown in Ludhiana. And from there, this journey started and continued to build something which is today celebrated across the globe. During my time, access to capital was difficult. And as you all know, attracting talent and the right kind of skill sets is even harder. Not many people give a big chance to small scale enterprises to scale up. And I hope some of the lessons that I can share with you today will help you and assist you in shaping your careers and hopefully fortunes as well. One of the fundamental, thesis of building a company from a small company to a bigger company is really that you are committed to what you are doing. I've always maintained that you need to do a test check when you get into a business. Some of you may inherit a business. You need to be in a place which you enjoy every morning. I had from day one a test with myself, which was that on a Monday morning, if I didn't feel, excited about going behind my small little office desk in Ludhiana, I knew that I was not in the right business. And that kept me moving from one business to another in the first 10 years of my life. I would say this is one of the most important tests each one of you must have. Are you in the right place? Are you in the right business? Are you doing things out of compulsion? Because then it's very unlikely that you'll make a huge success of it. When your work becomes your joy, that's the time when the magic really starts. For me, from 1976, when I started till today, nearly 45 years, for me, that Monday morning test is very important. And I can tell you, I still pass it every Monday morning. For me, weekends are difficult to pass by. I am excited about getting back into my office on a Monday morning because I really love what I do. I say this to my children, I say this to young entrepreneurs. Uh, Most of us have a choice to do what we want. And sometimes our parents, our guides, our mentors have different aspirations for us. You need to fight those. Do things that you really enjoy the most. And then you will see the businesses will start to scale up, will start to get better. The second part is you really need to work hard. There is really no substitute for working hard. That could be long hours, that could be smarter hours. But in building a business, especially when you are small, you really need to give it all you have. I can tell you that there are stories of people who worked less harder than I did and did create businesses which were equal or bigger than mine. But those stories are far and few. So let's not, try to, test our luck that we will do some little bit of work here or there and create a successful enterprise. We will really need to put hard work, long hours, smart hours into anything that we do. The third thing I would say is very important is start to assemble a team very early on, which is aligned with your thoughts, which can support your weaknesses, which can actually fill those areas where you are not very strong to ensure that the team play then brings in the desired results that one wants. And I'm not talking about large teams, I'm not talking about thousands of people. I'm talking about the cohort of few handful of people that start to work with you. That is extremely important. I used to be in later years, this was more like 1984, 85. Uh, I had a small office in Nehru Place by the time I had shifted to Delhi. I can never forget when I hired a, MBA, IIM MBA, an IIT graduate, Paresh Dayal, who walked into their small office and joined the company as my deputy. He was braver than I was. He saw probably something in my eyes that there could be a possibility of scaling up a big business. He could have got a bigger job, but I could talk to him and convince him that here's an opportunity of a lifetime and we could build something together. So he joined me and stayed with me for over 20 years. He's since retired. Why I'm giving you this example is that it's extremely important to pick up a few good people who will be smarter, who will do a job which is better than what we can do alone. I think that part is very important. And this journey must continue. Keep on hiring better people, keep on getting people with skill sets that you don't have yourself. Create an atmosphere where everybody can flourish and thrive. Third point I will make is start to build governance early on. There are temptations galore, especially when you don't have the money. When you know the salary has to be paid on a particular day, and you have no money in the bank. That's a very tough situation, and I can tell you I've passed through that many times. Do ensure that your fiscal discipline is strong. You have your finances under control. You're not extending yourself. I am not saying that you should not be ambitious. In fact, in my scheme of things, ambition always needs to be greater than resources. The day your ambitions are smaller than your resources, you're going to start to slide back in life. So have your ambitions greater than your resources, but equally don't extend yourself to a point where your day of salary becomes a stress. I have gone through that, and that's why I'm sharing it with you. I would scramble around, go and beg my bank manager to give me an overdraft, or go and borrow some money from some friendly place or a place which will charge me a very high interest. But I ensured that the discipline of finance never missed out. The payday was never missed out. The payday for our vendors was never missed out. And keep in mind one thing: you may not get your payment in time, but you will need to pay people on time to build credibility. And that sort of pivots me into the last most important point for you to build on your journey is credibility. Build credibility. That goes a long, long, long way. I have seen many of my fellow entrepreneurs, fellow peers who have taken shortcuts, who have not fulfilled the credo of building credibility, and they suffer later on in life. You may get some small advantages in the beginning. Airtel, as you know, has gone through several rounds of crisis, and I'll talk a little bit more about it later. But in the worst times of our last 4 or 5 years, Airtel was able to raise its hands and ask for money, and we raised $12 billion. It's not easy for a company which is struggling, which has a question mark around it. It is because the credibility of these long years that has been built that we will fulfill what we commit to. And I must share with you one example. This is way back in 1977. I was a supplier to Hero Cycles. Shri Brijmohan Munjal, late Grand Master of Indian cycle industry, was one of my customers. And he used to pay once a week, and he was very disciplined to pay on that particular Friday. I needed some money. I went to him to seek money ahead of time, probably to the Tuesday or Wednesday. And I had to really appeal to him that I'm in desperate situation and I need the money. And he was not happy. I could see the frown on his face. He finally wrote me that check. And as I was leaving his cabin, he called my name. He says, Sunil, aadat nahi dalna. Don't make this a habit. I have never forgotten those words of that wise man. And that was the last time I ever let my monetary position take the better of me. Have control over your finances. It's very, very important. So I hope some of these examples that I've shared with you from my personal life will, give you some benefit to build your own businesses. So let's now shift gears. How do you scale up and become a large company? These don't happen overnight, although we are seeing, acceleration of businesses, especially in the world where the digital players like Amazon are playing now. The journey of that scaling up has really shrunk from decades to years, and now probably sometimes even less than a year. People are creating iconic success stories because the world has changed, because technology has come to our advantage. So that then moves me on to using the technology to now do things that we could never do during my times when I was building the business. You are a part of a technology ecosystem. Amazon is a fine example of how a disruptive technology can start to create businesses that could have never been thought before. Please use technology earlier on, embrace technology earlier on. If you have younger members of the family who are eager to do business, bring them in early. They are digitally native, they understand technology very well. Seek their support. If you don't have one, seek from outside. Technology will accelerate your journey. More importantly, it'll make you more efficient, it'll make you more cost effective, and improve your margins. That becomes extremely important for you. Build people alongside, use technology very strongly, and keep on having ambitions which are greater than resources. All this will bring you to bigger businesses, bigger opportunities, and keep on looking at the trends that are around your businesses, around your industry, and never miss out a disruptive force that is out there in the marketplace, because things, as I said, are moving at a very rapid clip. Airtel is a story which is perhaps like very few others in emerging markets. There are companies which require less capital, and therefore a lot of people can build a lot of businesses. Telecom is a very, very high capital intensity in the industry. Over here, spending 50,000 crores on spectrum, which will be used over 20 years, but paid upfront, is pretty normal. Spending 20,000 crores of capital expenditure on your network year after year after year is very normal. And these are the industries which require massive capital. Having built a very credible enterprise, having built a very strong customer base, a very loyal, happy customer base, I think we have been able to do precisely this. But have we gone through challenges? The answer is yes. We have gone through, I would say, several near-death experiences. 2003 was the first one, when the question was not if, but the question was when will Airtel collapse? We were growing at a breakneck speed, rolling out networks in every part of the country, mobile, fixed line, satellite nodes, putting up India's first submarine cable from India to Singapore. Everything was happening at the same time. Hiring more people uh, without too much of induction or training, and putting them out into the field to work. And all this was, creating a massive crisis. We needed to get capital. We needed to get support of our vendors. We needed to have more customers sign on with us to make us successful. And all those things came together at that time. We demonstrated that Airtel is a company which will thrive even in a crisis. That playbook has helped us several times since 2003, 2004. 2008 to 10 was another chapter where 12 new licenses were given out, unheard of in our industry. As I just mentioned, it's a very capital intensive industry, but it was given out. And there was a huge disruption in the marketplace. And of course, the recent one, 2016, the launch of Geo as one of the most powerful competitors in Indian space, free service for a year, subsidized service for another year, predatory pricing, subsidized phones, all sorts of things. And it's no surprise that 9 out of those 12 operators packed up, went bankrupt, merged with us or with each other. And today we are down to 3 private sector operators, in which very clearly one operator is becoming increasingly a question mark. So for a country of our size of 1.3 billion people, we are now down to nearly 2.5 operators. And that test, the last test, we have passed again very well. We have increased our market share. We have increased our brand loyalty. We have increased our brand index, and we are gaining more customers than competition in the last 8 or 9 months. We've added new lines of businesses. We have accelerated our fiber to home. Many hundreds of thousands of new homes are being connected every month. Data center business has come through. Our enterprise business is now clearly the leading edge business in the marketplace. And our DTH business now has taken a lead over Dish, which used to be the largest DTH operator in the marketplace. And last but not the least, our newest baby, the Airtel Payment Bank, is making strides in the rural areas and tier 2, tier 3 cities, with now nearly 50 million active monthly customers using our services from the Airtel Payment Bank. So all in all, I would say we have now arrived today after 3 or 4 big crises, the recent one, into a very healthy shape. What are the opportunities in our country? If I may spend just a few minutes before closing, India is a continent of consumers. 1.3 billion people who are consuming more products, who are consuming more services, who are using more data today. And based on that data and smartphones in their hands, using services like Amazon, Google, Facebook, and several other technology-based services that are coming through, whether it's shared economy services like Ola or Uber, or seeking delivery from restaurants. Everything is now fast moving on to the digital platform. And these young people who are coming in hordes into the mainstream are adding momentum to our GDP, are adding momentum to our consumption story. And therefore, it's no surprise that we are attracting today tens of billions of dollars of FDI year after year, because India is the place to be. We are also getting some tailwinds because China is suddenly not the flavor of the decade. Most people are shifting their businesses from China to India, which would mean more manufacturing coming here, more development coming here, more innovation coming here. And in the next 5 to 10 years' time, it's my belief that India could become a major economy where we will have had industrial upliftment, digital upliftment, and importantly, more of self-reliant and stronger India in the hands of Indians. So in closing, I would say you are today in a time which is like no other time. Access to capital is easy. Technology is on your fingertips. Country is large and thriving. There's a big market out there for you. You put all this together. Don't you think you have an opportunity like we never had? And will you not therefore build businesses which are going to be strong, resilient, and some of you will break through and make bigger businesses even than Airtel and many other established companies. I always say those who are there yesterday are not here today, and those people like me who are here today may not be there tomorrow. Who knows? Tomorrow may be your turn. So, with that, I would like to wish each one of you a very eventful journey in your lives, strong careers, strong wealth creation, and importantly, an opportunity to serve our country, India. Thank you very much.